morning, everybody. I'm Chris, this is Tilly, and this is Sprout, and welcome to the Coffee Fuel Woodsman channel. It's 8:30 in the morning, and this is a little road in the Ingramport Wilderness area, and we're on our way to a lake up here. This one goes down, I think, to Long Lake. That's not the lake we're going to. And yeah, we set off pretty early this morning, looking to get on the water pretty early and get to doing some fishing and some camping. This is going to be a really quick overnighter, although since we left so early this morning, then we're not going to try to hurry back tomorrow. It shouldn't be too bad. It should feel like a decent length trip. Claire, my wife, needed a little break from the two monsters bothering her. She's got to do some work this weekend, so that was a good excuse for us to pop into the woods. Simple food for tonight. We got an MRE, we got a fairly decent sized breakfast. Planning on making a fire, hoping the bugs aren't too bad, but I've been sitting here for about 3 or 4 minutes and only see a couple, so I think we're going to be good. Anyway, time to hit the road again. Hey, road. Anyway, this mound of rock was never here. All of that washed in. This pile of rock here all washed in from the flood, which washed out the road. That's crazy. Here's our lake, made up of a lot of little fingers. So gonna have a nice paddling day. The wind's just light. I have a feeling the dogs are gonna get some ticks. Okay, we are in the lake, and there's a very slight breeze coming from the south, I guess, and it is beautiful. We've come up to our first obstacle. Once upon a time I was able to paddle through here. I'm not sure if that's the case today, but maybe. Like we may be able to do it after all. She's tight though. No, I'm not certain we're going to make it through this one. Maybe. I thought that about the last one. I was pretty impressed that we got through it. I think we're going to make it. Yeah. Just the wind was the issue. I think that might be the last little channel that we have to cross, so we may not have to dither around anything anymore. You're all right, bud. Sprout, sit. Good boy. Good boy. It's just a rock, bud. It's just a rock. I know. Looks funny, doesn't it? This place out, eh? Let's check this little place out. Sweet. Okay. Good dogs. Good dogs. Alright, gonna check another little spot out here. Anytime I see big pines, it's usually a good bet there might be a place to hang a hammock. But there's this big rock here basically a launching and swimming rock. Probably good fishing out there. It looks like it goes fairly deep because this is a channel. So, isn't that pretty? Tilly, come. There's the boat. This is the woods. I got a little hill here. Fairly flat. Wouldn't have to do a lot of clearing. Hammock wise, it's easy. Tilly and Sprout's tent should be easy as well. In fact, right here, yeah, a couple of rocks back there. I like it right here where I'm at. The only problem is it's a long ways from the lake, and you know, if I was here with a few people, this would be a great spot. Set your tents up here and then eat down by the water. But it's just so open. Beautiful. All right. Well, since I'm here by myself, you're the only one I got to talk to. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my bag. So that's and how I brought stuff in. So that's a Fall Raven Kajka. I don't know if that's the right pronunciation. And it's a 75 liter. I've thrown my Nemo chair and bedroll for the dogs on the outside. But on the inside, I have my sleep system in the bottom, which consists of a top quilt and an under quilt for the hammock. And they're both in this Outdoor Research dry bag. So inside, that's a 50 liter dry bag. It's just a cheap woods one. And so pretty much anything I bring now when I'm in a canoe, since the trip that I learned that I needed it, is going to be dry sealed. That's my breakfast for tomorrow. So we're out. What do you think? Stay. Just stay. Stay. Are you kidding? Well, I am pretty happy with this campsite. Now, I got something to show you right here. Is an Amazon cheap purchase, and I think I talked about it in my last video. And what it is, it's basically a tent, but it's a bug net. It doesn't have a floor, about 6 feet long, and we are going to try to put the dogs in that, because obviously the hammock doesn't house me and 2 dogs, or even 1 dog, especially when they're wet like they are today. Sprout's never stayed a night in a tent on his own, but I think Tilly always has. She had a little pup tent, was really small. This thing's quite a bit bigger. I've had to bring this and a tarp to go with it. My biggest challenge is going to be where I set up that little dog tent so that it doesn't block my view. I just sat here trying to figure out how we're going to do this. That's basically how it's set up, and it's about 6 foot long, or well, it's a little almost 7 feet long on the bottom. I'm going to put my backpack in against probably the back side to give them more room in there. I'm going to put their little pads that I use in the canoe underneath, and I'm going to frame it all in with basically kind of like a tent's rain fly with my Hammock Gear Journey tarp. I think it's a Journey. Yeah, it's a Journey, because it's got doors. girl. You want to go try it out? Check it out. Yeah? Yeah, do you think it's going to work? Think it's going to work? So that's basically their little corner of the world. I'm going to close in this side. Look at them, they're both exhausted. They went right in. So I'm going to close in this side so that so hopefully in the night, Sprout doesn't get any bright ideas. And it looks like the wind's going to blow out from underneath. There's my hammock. I'll get the tarp over top. And this is going to be the head end. And hopefully that's enough that that little guy in there, hi bud, won't try to escape. You know what? I'm actually pretty happy with that. I think by the looks of things, they're pretty happy with it too. Well, since this was kind of a really thrown together last minute trip, I made my sandwich at home. It's actually a super boring one for a change. I usually like to put something in there that I want to show everybody at home. Like look at the weird thing I'm eating, but yeah, this time it's just a ham and cheese on an English muffin. So I've tried to have a nap for the last hour or so. I think I'm just going to make a coffee. So rather than do up an actual fire or anything, I'm just going to do it on the alcohol stove. My little alcohol stove that Johnny made for me. This is methyl hydrate, just the stuff that you buy at Canadian Tire, standard stuff. I think I got it in the auto parts section. I'll pour a little bit around the edge. Minutes. Now that water is already filtered, so I'm not going to boil it any more than that. This is silly here. I'm sitting on the floor to try to keep the dogs from getting worked up. I've got a chair here that I haven't put together. I've got my hammock right there that I could be sitting in, and here I am on the floor waiting for my coffee to perk. Got whiskey too. Well, actually it's bourbon, but not a whole lot. Something for later. Cheers. All right, my GoPro's doing funny things about the battery. Anyway, this is the shelter. I set the lens to wide so you can kind of have an idea. The two dogs next to me, and this is what I see. So I'm sitting here having me a little cup of coffee. Sprout, what are you doing out there? Well, this new shelter may work out. I think it could be a little shorter, and a couple of little tweaks for it, but this may get us through so I can go back to the hammock rather than a tent when it's, you know, me taking 2 dogs out. I don't mind the tent. I just don't like being on the ground all the time, yet here I am on the ground. Well, I've been sitting here basically doing literally nothing except for keeping the dogs content, and it has been amazing. I feel like I just turned my brain off for the last hour, but the issue is I ran out of coffee. I didn't make enough, and I'm worried that I didn't bring enough. So I brought about enough to make 12 cups of coffee, and for some people I'm sure that sounds like a lot, but 12 8-ounce cups of coffee isn't really a lot for me over 2 days. Well, I kind of messed that up. Not a big deal. I think what I'll do though is I'm going to make more right now because I don't want to start drinking bourbon yet. It's too early. It's only 3:15. Solo trips are kind of funny because, you know, I've got the dogs for company, and I find that really changes the dynamic. I've done solo trips without dogs, and I don't know. I guess maybe it was when I first started. I find passing time sometimes a little bit boring, depending on how much you have to do and how dark it gets, how soon. Now, on a trip like this, where I'm having a military ration for supper, so all I got to do is boil water. There's not really a lot to do, like set up camp, and this took a little bit of time. But once you've done that, then what is there to do? You got to fill your time somehow, and honestly, once you get to that stage where you can turn your brain off and just enjoy being out, the time just flies. Like, honestly, the last hour has just flown, but it's been very, very relaxing. Very nice. Well, while we were waiting for the water to boil, went down to try some luck fishing, and believe it or not, caught one. As I've probably shown you already, maybe not. I also fell in with my croc, so not a big deal. I got one extra pair of socks, so if the sock doesn't dry out before this evening, I'll just switch the socks. But it's much cooler down by the water than it is up here, I'll tell you. Sprout's just running around down by the water until he's at my feet. So when we first got here, he was taking off, way off in the woods in that direction. I thought for a minute I was going to have to like put a leash on him, keep him closer to camp. But actually, I don't know if Tilly's teaching him. He seems to be figuring out that he only has to go so far, and I won't yell at him. Sprout, what is it? Is it a stick? Is that a stick? What is it? What is it? It's the camera, bud. It's the camera. Look, it's just. Might sit out here later. I'm not sure. I don't know if there's a good spot really to. Right there, I guess. Maybe if the wind drops, maybe I'm bring my chair out. And look, this is what he's been doing the whole time. I think he's trying to get like the grass. It's in the water. Where you going, girl? I'm gonna finish off what left of the coffee, and then I'm gonna go down to the water and see about making a fire to make this. So, southwestern Chipotle chicken. The wind's a little bit less than it was, but it's still a little high. I think I'm gonna have to use the canoe to build my fire. Oh. All right, ran out of one battery already. I don't know how that went that quick. But yeah, so I got a pile of stuff for firewood for this evening, because all I'm doing is boiling water, as far as I know. And then tomorrow morning, I need a pile for cooking. Oop, too far. For cooking and making coffee. So that should be more than enough. What? This is not Sprout food. It's not Sprout toy. No, it's not Tilly toy either. You guys leave that. No. No, hey. Leave that. Not toys. Okay, so there's the canoe on its side. It's going to act as a windbreak. I think I'm going to put my fire right around here. Sprout's still up to his tricks. He's going to fall in again. While this is just starting to go, I'm going to move the pot a little bit further over it. Put on my microphone. Hey, let's open this MRE. I'm not sure how well you're going to see it from over there, but we'll see what happens. Okay, that's not getting any heat at all, which is perfect. That's kind of the last thing we want. All right. What we got? Dessert, sliced apples. Don't need that. Main meal, Southwest Chipotle chicken. What do we got? A hamburger bun. Those always kind of suck, but whatever. Sports drink, 2 sports drinks. Probably end up throwing those out. Cranberry maple trail mix. That's going to be saved for later. And what else we got? Matches. A spoon sport. You know what? I'm going to use that for my coffee. Because I kind of need that. Tic Tacs and then napkins. So, put everything back in that we're not going to use tonight, but we are going to eat. That canoe's blocking. Oh, honey, you're too close. You're too close. You're way too hot, girl. That hamburger, not really sure what I'm going to do with that, but this is kind of a good setup for tomorrow morning because it's kind of a pretty spot. I wish that I could be on the other side of the fire facing this way, but there's just no room. These rocks are really slippery right here too, so. It says it's only supposed to heat for 5 minutes. I don't know. Water's supposed to be boiling already though, which it is not. That's all right. Let's do 10 minutes and then we'll call it good. The thing about only having to boil water and making small fires, it doesn't take very much. That's like gonna be perfect. Kind of hoping to keep the fire off the rock as much as possible, but that might not be possible. All right, it's time for bourbon. Little Sprout's driving me to drink. You are? He's a good little dog, really. He's a little bit full on still, where he's a puppy, aren't you? So this is Evan Williams bourbon. Get your nose out. Can't waste any of it. I'm gonna mix it with water just to lengthen it. I gotta hydrate too. Might as well do both at the same time. The sun came out for a short time. It got kind of warm. Like I don't know what the temperature is. It must be 16, 17 degrees. You're a good girl. Yeah. Oh, good girl. Yeah, that young fella learned a thing or two from you, eh? My hamburger bun tilt. Let's see if I can tear it. I can. Yes. Makes life easier. Hey, quit. Now. It's slurpy. Smells good. Honestly, I can't remember if I've had this one or not. That's it. Definitely gonna have to get the hamburger bun. I think I might just throw it all in there. If I would have known it was like this, I would have definitely brought some rice. That canoe was perfect. As long as the wind stays out of the south tomorrow, that is. It tends to switch when I'm out. Leave it. There's me hamburger bun. Usually pretty uninspiring. Not really sure if you're supposed, it almost looks like whole wheat on the inside. It's kind of a weird yellowy brown color. Definitely warm enough. The flavor's really good. I know, pup, you can't have any anymore. I know, it's the worst. And that means Mr. Sprout can't have any either. Poor dogs. Well, I'm gonna eat this and I'm gonna feed them. Now the dogs have had their supper. Not that they're satisfied. Look at this thing. All right, well, I'm not gonna eat that Kit Kat Chunky Bar because I've got this bad boy from an MRE about, I don't know how old it would be, but it's probably gonna be solid white. So let's have a gander. Oh yeah. You ever seen anything look more tasty than that? Probably not, eh? Oh, hard. Well, it's not bad. I'm not getting any more expired, so. I'm back in the sheltered area. We went for a hike. I figured the dogs needed to get a little bit of exercise, a little energy runoff. Tilly's used to going out and playing ball right after supper, and Sprout's just sitting down by the water again. I've tried to get him out of the water like 5 times, and I realized he drives off pretty quick. So as long as I keep him out of the water about an hour, 2 hours before bed, we should be fine. We went for a long hike that way, up over the side hill, and then sort of around the lake, keeping the lake in sight. That way, you know, you can't get lost. Quite a few bear signs in the area, but it's not like a ridiculous amount, just maybe one roaming through a day or two here or there. But so we were as loud as we could, and hopefully the dogs marked as many places as they could. And really, any bear sees us or hears us, they're going to go the other way. So it's just nice not to be surprised by them. You don't want them just wandering in, not realizing you're around. So let me get this straight. You've been down, you've been told not to go in the water, and now you want in my hammock. That's not happening. You're not getting in there. You were told not to go in the water. You're not drying yourself off in my bedding. Why do you think that's food? I don't know why. You can't come up, girl. You're soaked. For any pipe smokers out there, I think this is Cornish and Deli Autumn Evening, if I'm right on the name, mixed with some dark Cavendish that I had. Well, I didn't think I'd need to put on my puffy coat, but I actually got a little chilly. I kind of wish now I would have brought one of my flannel shirts or even my wool vest, and that would have been fine, but I did that thing where it's like, I'll wait a little longer. Then I went from, I'll wait longer to, oof, I'm cold. So kind of got a little bit of a chill on there now, so maybe I'll put a hat on or something like that as well. Get my body temperature back up. This is a little damp. Sprout, leave it. Stay. Sprout, leave it. Alright, well, I wasn't skunked. Unfortunately, Sprout tried to eat it. I don't think he didn't do any damage to it, but now he's all wet again. Sprout! Back up here, come on. Here's the little fly I just caught. A couple on today. One little perch and one trout that you just saw. Hopefully you saw it. I don't know how much of it you got. Sprout definitely was causing some issues. Well, that was some interesting fishing. Sprout definitely has to work on his fish side manners, don't you, bud? The bugs have kind of come out down here, so I think we might head back in. Alright, we're getting into the night hours there now. It's almost 9 o'clock. But whatever.
They're looking happy again, so that's fine.
I don't know how well you can hear me, but it's 9:30. I've put the pups into the bed. I think Sprout's going to stay. He definitely was chancing it there a minute ago. I've left kind of a corner open so they can see me in my hammock, and hopefully he'll just simmer once he realizes that I'm not going anywhere. But Tilly's already down for the count, so anyway, figured we were kind of forcing ourselves to stay up, so it was time for bed. And hopefully the dogs will now simmer down, because Sprout's kind of been up and down, but now that he's all closed in, hopefully that'll be fine. Maybe I'll show you it in the morning. All right, see you tomorrow. Wait. No, wait. 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 Okay, you two. You guys did well. There's our camera. Yep, good girl. Oh, yeah.
Oh, there we go. There we go. You're in your first hammock. What do you think? We gotta move forward, okay? You gotta move a little forward, okay? There. Oh, let's say hi to the camera. Well, good morning, everybody. It's 5:49. I woke up around 5:30 or so, I think. Must have been right around there. Actually, I woke up off and on in the night, and I didn't think I was sleeping that well. However, the hours definitely just flew by, so I was obviously asleep. I was just waking up a lot. But yeah, overall it was pretty good sleep. Woke up at 3:30 and looked at my watch. It's the only time I actually looked at it, and then that 2 hours felt... I think I was dead asleep for those 2 hours, so that was good. Got a bit of a headache this morning, but might be a little dehydration. So it's a beautiful morning out there. I'm not starving yet, and I went down and just had a little boo around the water. Tilly never moved from the hammock, because this is what she does. We get up early, too early usually, because she's been the boss of it, and then she gets back and goes to sleep in the hammock for a bit. But so we'll see how long this lasts.
There you go. Good.
I probably should start cooking those sausage. So, oof. But I figured I'd put that coffee pot on and get it going first. Yeah, once that stuff gets cooking along a little better, I've got 3 eggs in there. I'm gonna just pretty much scramble them up. And then I've got English muffins. Come here, bud. Come here, right here. Good boy, there you go. Yeah, they still look, they'll be fine. I'm putting them on sandwiches anyway. So I'm gonna move the fire, not moving the fire, moving my grate over. You okay, girl? I'm gonna cook on that side with my pan. And I think I am gonna move. Let's scramble them. It's just gonna be easier, eh, girl? Let's just scramble them. I'll just slam these ultra-charged sausage on here like this. I'm gonna scoop the egg on top. Put the egg on right there. I don't know why. There it is, everyone. That's better than I thought. Can't believe I forgot this was a 9 cup. The good thing is when you percolate it over and over and over, weaker coffee becomes stronger coffee. I put about 7 scoops in, 7 or 8, so not quite as strong as I like. Pretty good. Did you tell the camera that you got a sausage until he didn't? She doesn't know. We're not going to tell her, okay? Hey, don't chew it. Crazy boy. Well, my main reason for not really loving single day trips is about to start. And that's packing up all the stuff that I brought. And with them having their own tent, me having a hammock, I now have 2 tarps, 2 basic shelters to pack up. And I brought a bunch of bedding for them. Now, it all fit in one backpack this time, so almost a little happy with myself for a change, not having to bring 2 packs. Other than my Crocs. My Crocs I could attach to the backpack, but I think I just threw them in the boat. Go get it! Go get it! You can do it! Aw, bud, you'll get there. Oh my goodness. You too. Alright, well I've decided I'm going to wash my hair. And the water feels warm enough for a swim. So this is going to be the first swim of the year. I mean, obviously the dogs have been swimming the whole time, so it should be fine. Woo! Come on, Sprout. Come. Come. Come on. Come on, bud. Good boy. Yeah. Yeah, good boy. Good boy. Is this your tent? Okay, okay. All right, so this is all I brought for the dogs. That's their entire sleep system with the exception of stuff to put on the ground. I brought that bedroll for them, and what else did I bring them? Bedroll, Dyneema tarp, and those 2 pads that go in the canoe. I really didn't need any of that. They would have been fine right on the ground. I think I would have liked to have something down to separate them from the ground in case it's wet. But really, that's about it. Tilly's pup tent, single dog tent, is bigger than this. So, and I could fit in that and sleep in there if I had to, with them.
It wouldn't be super comfortable because Sprout likes to lay on top of you, but alrighty, we are all pretty much packed up, aren't we? It's only 9:15 in the morning. We'll do a little bit of fishing on the way back, I think, and hopefully, come here, bud, come here. Hopefully, hopefully catch a couple for the camera. Switch over to the GoPro, as long as my batteries will last. Hey, we'll get you swimming. Do you want to swim? No ticks yet, like not one. And the bugs, I mean, I'm in shorts. There's no issues at all. I haven't put bug dope on either. Tilly, come. Sprite, in. Tilly, in. Yep. Good girl. Big loon right there. All right, well, this is about as nice a spot as any as I can think of to do my my sign off. So from myself and Tilly and Sprout, we hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, everyone.